Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm in a a gorgeous little valley where I'm going to do a walk through some woodlands, so some tracks and footpaths. But first I have to make my way down through a village which sits on some cliffs overlooking the coast, and it's an area I come very regularly, but I haven't been in these woods for about 30 years, quite simply because when I come here I'm going surfing, and I was here not that long ago actually, but I don't have time to go into these woodlands. I come here to surf and then I leave, but I'm making an exception today. I'm not surfing, I'm actually going to do a little bit of a walk, and I'll bring you guys along with me. Now I've got Bracken with me, which is already making things a little bit difficult because he wants to go where he wants to go, but in essence we're going to go follow the road, single track road down through a little coastal village and overlook the sea. And there's some folklore and myth and legend surrounding this little village, and it's quite a fascinating little village due to its history, and I'll let you in on all that as we make our way down through the village to start with. But we are completely surrounded by woodlands on steep hillsides, so let's move down into the village. And we've got streams. Obviously we're in a valley, and at the bottom of most valleys you find a stream or a river course, and this is no exception. And I'm trying to keep Bracken under control here, but on top of that we have steep wooded valley hillsides. I'll bring you around, and we're going to follow this road down into the village, and you can already see it's overlooked by those woodlands I was talking about. So this is the village of Bucks Mill, and it's said to have Saxon origins. In fact, Buck can translate in Saxon to homestead, and the mill part comes from later on, where there was a corn mill, or believed to be a corn mill. Hence you end up with the name Bucks Mill. Now this village is quite famous for the name Braund. Now there is a vast majority of historical names linked to Bucks Mill with that last surname, and legend says that it's descendants from shipwrecks of the Spanish Armada, which were crewmen that washed ashore, and they married local girls and became part of the community, but their name got slightly altered, but it stayed prominent in this village and area. As you can imagine, fishing was the mainstay industry to this village, but when that actually came to a close, or it died off, the men used to sail across to Lundy in treacherous seas and conditions to work in the quarry. There was a granite quarry over on the island, and that's where they found employment. Now there is a big lime kiln at the bottom of the cliff, and it dates back from 1760, and that's where lime would have been cooked off, and then it would have been taken up and spread over the soil to increase the fertility for crops. And that industry continued alongside the rest of North Devon and Cornwall and even Wales. It was quite a big industry on the coastal communities. So Bucks Mill has a geological curiosity, which is the Gore, and it's a 1/4 mile long, a spit of land of sand, boulder and rock that runs for a 1/4 mile out to sea, and it then turns and makes to the direction of Lundy. Now you can only see it at low tide, but at the very end you will get waves breaking off it, and that's where I go to surf. So local legend has it that the Gore was actually made by the devil, and he was trying to build a causeway to get to Lundy, but unfortunately for him his shovel broke, and it was a Devon shovel, and the handle snapped clean in half, so he couldn't complete the task and actually get to Lundy. Now this little stone building that clings precariously to the cliff was used by two ladies that lived in it. Now these ladies were artists, quite well known, and yes, this was used as a retreat for them to come and gain inspiration to do all their artwork. Now the building's pretty much a living museum to them. It's undergoing a bit of restoration now, but everything inside is as it would have been when they were there. And it's a quaint little building, and it's got some fantastic views. So looking out over here, you can look down into Bideford Bay, all along the actual coastline, and the gut, and that is that sandy bit, and that's where the actual ships would actually be landed for the lime kiln. This is a very steep track, and it leads down to this, you can't really call it a harbour, but it's a slipway people would take their boats, and that is the lime kiln there, sat on top of the cliff, with the waterfall coming down just behind it. So if you're standing on the slipway and you look to the left hand side out to sea, you will see the remnants of the old quay. It's a big, looks like big square blocks of boulders, and you can clearly see it's man-made. And that's dated to about 1597, and it was built by Richard Cole to serve as a harbour for trade and commerce. And he is thought to be the inspiration for the old nursery rhyme, Old King Cole. So you can clearly see the sandy gut, and this is where the boats would be beached. And looking across, you can see the gore running out to sea with the waves breaking off the end of it. And possibly on the left hand side, the remnants of the old harbour. So from this angle we'll see the actual old lime kiln, but you have no access to it because it is so dangerous with rock falls, unstable ground. It's just thoroughly dangerous, and there is no access to it. Now you can just see the old quay there and the gore going out to sea. It does become more exposed the lower the tide, and you can see it more clearly then. that was a quick whistle stop look around the actual village of Bucks Mill, coastal village. Not the most touristy of places, and it's nice that there are still little ones like this. You do get people, particularly in summer, but it isn't overly busy like the other places on the coast. But I'm leaving this, and as you can see, these steep valleys are full of woodlands, and this is where me and Bracken are heading. We're now going to leave the coast behind, head through these woodlands and head inland. So we're leaving the hustle and bustle and the noise of the little village behind, and now we're heading into the quiet of the woodlands. And strangely, I feel a little bit more at peace. I do like company, I like chatting to people, but there's something nice about just being in the woodlands by yourself. And already the houses look a long way down there. Go on. Go on. Now as we climb up through this woodland track, which is a footpath, it's part of the Southwest Coastal Path trail, which encompasses a majority of the southwest coastline, if not all of it. But there are little places that you can just gain just that little bit more of an advantage with looking out over the sea. It's some of them have spectacular views. Obviously you have to be safe because you don't know whether you're standing on a sheer drop, so you've got to be a little bit switched on. But we're up here and have a little look. And here we are, and as you can see, that's a steep drop down there. And these old oak trees, they're really stunted because the violence of the storms and winds that come in off the sea just stunts their growth. They don't get the opportunity to grow to their full size. But it is absolutely spectacular here. And you can just hear those waves crashing down on the pebbles and the boulders down there. Now this old footpath, God knows how many thousands of people over the years have trod it, and it would have been used as an access to the village back in the days when travel by other road systems were quite difficult or long. These little pathways and footpaths would have served the community well. But it is quite slippery because we've had a lot of wind and rain, and we're due another week of it. I think this is the only real good day, so hence why I chose to come out for a hike today. Now we've just rounded the corner there, coming up through this track. We're still going up, ironically. I was hoping it was going to level off. I remember it being steep, but not the point it is at the moment. But I've got a fantastic old tree that looks gnarled, it's twisted, it looks deformed. It looks quite ugly, but it's beautiful in the same vein. I'll let you have a look. Look at those limbs, they're really contorted, twisted. Some of them are rotten, but some of them are still good. The tree looks like it's got plenty of life left in it, but it just looks twisted and contorted. And that would be by all the winds it gets hit by. But I'm surprised it's actually managed to get to the size it has. But yeah, me and Bracken got to continue up here and along this track. Now, if memory serves me right, I will be able to pick up other footpaths and tracks in the woodland to come back down through the top part of the valley, pretty much where the car park is, but that's a long way away yet. And I'm still going up. There's a small little holly tree that's beginning to push up by this oak tree, and they're beginning to intertwine. But as the oak leaves are dying back, it's the turn of the holly and it's beginning to stand out now. It was overshadowed by the oak. But winter comes, it's the holly's turn. Now I did see a large group of hikers in their like mid-20s to 30s. A large group of them, obviously all close friends. And it was nice to see them go on their way and do their thing. I've let them go on. I can't hear or see any sign of them now. I'm just gently plodding along. And it suits me. It allows me to soak in the atmosphere how I want to soak it in. And that is being on a woodland path that's surrounded by woodland, and it still has, I know I always say it in my videos because I kind of seek it out, that little bit of an old world vibe and feel. But it was nice to see those you know, midlifers out there doing something, because I very rarely meet people like that out on the trail. And onward. And my 30-year-old memory did serve me okay, that this track does split off. If you were to continue, you'd be on the southwest coastal path, but I'm going to take what's called there the green lane. So I'm no longer going up there. I'm taking this pathway or trail. But as you can see, it's pretty bogged up here. We've lost the stones and we're on clay, mulched down leaves and organic matter. So bring your welly boots if you ever come on this track. But I can already say it's stunning. I mean, it's Saturday and I haven't seen really anybody other than that group I told you about. You can still find some peace and quiet in a busy and overcrowded UK. Long may it last. I've got my doubts though, but maybe that's another video some other time. But for the moment, I'm just soaking all this in and enjoying it. Right, I'm going to try and find a little quiet spot just to gather my thoughts, because very shortly it will be the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. I'm not going to labour that, but if you don't know what it is, perhaps just look it up. But I'm just going to take a moment here to stand here in peace and quiet and just pay my respects. So I'm just going to stop recording at the moment. Now, I didn't bring a map with me. I'm doing this all on my... He's just tangled me up, so I got to do the twirl. I wish he had stopped doing that. He won't just stick to one side, he will literally run all around me, tangling me up. I think this is actually one of the footpaths. Now, if I carry on up here, I'm sure it takes me to a country lane, which I can come in to the woodland from a different angle. A lot of this is being done, like I keep saying, on a 30-year-old memory, when when my mind was full of a lot of other things at that particular point in my life. But let's see if my mind or memory holds true. So this footpath I'm on is running now between agricultural land, and it's on good flat land. I'm back up on the plateau before you descend down into the valley, and it's very pleasant. I could have carried along that little paddock you saw back down into the woodland, and that track, I believe, would then descend all the way back down into the woodland I started from. I think this one takes me out to a lane, and I can do a little bit of a circular and come in the back end of the wood, which will give me a longer hike. And yeah, I just want to be out just that little bit more longer, enjoy this. We have got more wind and rain coming, so I could be confined to the workshop, which isn't such a bad thing because it's Christmas and craft fairs, sales and custom orders. I've got people beginning to line up, and well, I was into the workshop till 9:30 last night, and I don't want to be doing that all the way to Christmas, so my first obstacle. Right, here we go, and let's hope nobody trips and falls in this. Now, a lot of the footpaths that I use are like this. They get quite sunken and water filled. Bracken's going to the edge, hoping to avoid, but that's not necessarily a good idea because some of these little lanes are rounded off. And this is where you hope your boots have got no holes. Don't pull me or I'm going to get wet or be pulled over. Right, let's go along here. Whoa. Come this way. Now the hedge has just dipped and you can see the cliffs there just over from the village of Clovelly. You might just see there nestled in the cliff. That's Church Rock, that little pointy bit. And where you can see that big cargo ship going around the headland, a ship was torpedoed during the war. It was a hospital ship by the German U-boat, and a lot of lives were lost. There is a plaque there, but it's a fair walk in on the coastal path. I might do that sometime. Here's Lundy. You can just see the lighthouse down there on the corner. And there is a little fishing vessel just out in Bideford Bay here, if I can find it. There it is, miles out. I'll bring you around. And you can see the North Devon coast up there. Now, me and Bracken, we've been plodding this footpath for quite some time now, and there doesn't seem any sign of it coming to an end, which leads me to hope I've, you know, done my research and calculated this just a little bit better than what I'm beginning to fear I have. But the woods, I can just see them. They're probably 1.5 miles away now. Yeah, we really are sort of like pushing a little bit further inland and away from the woods I want to get back to. So yeah, let's see where this takes me. All good fun. This is what it's all about out on the trail. So we've actually reached the end of this trackway, and I can see some signs up there. So let's go and try to get a bit of a handle on where we are. Right, National Trust, Green Lane. Very pleasant track. If I was a bit more switched on to how long it was going to be, I possibly wouldn't have been panicking that much. The southwest coastal footpath would be running well down over there. There is a embankment there. I wonder what that's all about. Something to do some research about. But right, let's gather my thoughts and ideas where I am actually at now. No, coastal footpath down there. That would be where you'd be going to stay on the coastal footpath. We won't be going through that pond. We'll head up to this road. Right, come on Bracken. Keep coming up here. Public footpath there. This is a dwelling and a lane. I'm going to follow this lane all the way around, and I've got a feeling it comes back in on itself to the woodland. Right, we've come from the woodlands right over about there in the valley down there, so we've come a fair way. And on this particular lane, it should be coming to an end, I think, from the top corner, and I can see it, public footpath sign leaning precariously in the hedge, but it's looking like I've got to go down a private track to connect with it. Obviously that's all well and good, because that's how it works here in the UK with public footpaths. So yeah, continue on my way down here, and I think I should be making my way down into the valley to connect with the woodland from here. So there's the sign. I can continue up to the road back the way I came, or down through here. So there's obviously got to be a sign down here for the public footpath. I've just got to find it. I should imagine it's straight down through the yard. And here we go. I can see a little yellow arrow sticker and the gateway beside this farm building. So it may seem odd how public footpaths work, but they're historical, and these paths were put in place for people to move from work, church, all the local amenities, and some of them can date back to 1,000 years. So straight along this little bit beside the farm building, I'm probably just a quarter of a mile from a main road over there, but you can see where we got to go. And the landowner's done a pretty good job putting a decent gate in. Sometimes it can be hit or miss. Let's shut this. There, shut. Right, let's continue on our way. Down through here. Bit of a bog fest here. And in the distance we can already see a woodland. Now, me and Bracken haven't encountered anybody on this complete hike, this trail, this loop, however you want to describe it, other than those people at the start. And I take it they've continued on the southwest coastal path. They haven't headed inland and gone, you know, the route I'm going. This path does look like it sees traffic, but obviously nowhere near the southwest coastal path route. The southwest coastal path trail is actually, you know, a national UK wide recognised trail, and many hundreds if not thousands of people walk it each year. So I've kind of left all that behind by doing this inland loop, but I'm not missing out because I've seen some stunning countryside, and I'm about to head into the woodlands. And here we go. Make my way down to that gate, and then I'm back into the woods. I still have a long way to go through this woods to get to the car, and I'm possibly going to slow it down for my own benefit, just to savour being in the woods. Like I've said, the wind and rain is due to come back, and I will probably get out, but not on a long distance, not a long distance, but a longer trail like this. Now I'm at the valley floor. I'm walking beside a nice little stream, and I'm hoping there's no more climbing out of this valley. It really is steep, and it's a tangled, impenetrable mess, to be honest with you. I'm scanning thinking, oh boy, could there be any wild camping spots? And I'm sure there is, but you're going to have to work for them in here. But it's a beautiful little walk, and I'm really enjoying this. It is autumn, so saying it's got that real beautiful autumn woodland, you know, walking feel to it, and being outdoors in the autumn sounds silly, but it really does. This really is English autumn and what being outdoors is about. Totally stunning in here, totally stunning. It was worth the effort to come and do this. Definitely worth the effort. Well, I'm back in the car, and that little hike is completed. And what a little hike that was. First we got the coastal village, then we got the views, we got the sea, waterfall, walking through some stunning countryside and woodlands. A little bit of fun navigating and finding my way through all of this, but it was absolutely gorgeous, and what better way to spend a morning. So me and Bracken are going to head off home, get something to eat, and crack on with stuff to do with the family. So all that's left to be said is thank you for coming along with me on this hike. Stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail. This is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Take care.